A customer top-rated piece. We're starting the show off really well because we bring you Aran Craft, a third-generation family-owned company based in the Midlands of Ireland, and each piece is done in 100% merino wool with the finest Irish craftsmanship. Now, this specific sweater that is soft, it's warm, it's chic, it's open front. You have your two little pockets in the front. The scalloped edging, which I just think is so pretty and such a nice little detail at the hem and also at the wrist. But more importantly, it's all about this yarn. This is the nap yarn, and we're gonna talk all about it. It's like little flecks in the merino wool. It's the way they are able to knit it for us. So let me show you our options here. This one is the army green. We also have the slate blue. We've got the charcoal. We also have the burgundy and the red that I'm wearing, which we don't really ever see red. This is called cherry red. Free shipping and handling, most limited, of course, in the cherry. We're saving almost $19 on this, extra, extra small through extra large, through double extra large, and I have it on in the extra small, and it fits beautifully. It is so comfortable. And to talk about, I want to know all about these Aran Craft beautiful cables. So Barry Cullen is joining us. Good. What time is it? I was going to say good afternoon, good morning, good evening. What time is it over there?
It's just after 10 p.m. here.
Okay, so
I'm broadcasting from our studio in our factory here, as you said, in the Midlands of Ireland.
Wonderful.
So, we're in for a late night.
Absolutely. Well, good evening then. Okay, so first of all, we never see cherry red. I saw this and I fell in love.
And it's such a great, which is probably why it's so limited. I remember when we introduced this earlier on in the year, the cherry was big sold left, right, and center. It is the great base for those neps, as we mentioned there, those little flecks of complementing color that give such an extra little texture and kind of makes it feel so earthy.
So tell us about that, these neps.
So the neps are, so for example, when we were doing a color, say like the army green, for example, so that army green has got two colors in it. There's a light colored green and a darker color green, like what I'm wearing here. But we also, when we're spinning, when the yarn is being spun together, so you've got one fiber of light, one fiber of dark. There's also, it's almost like a light cobweb with all of those little colored neps that are woven in with it. And it's really, you have to actually add an awful lot more than you would think, because just through the natural process, they actually can kind of, if you saw the room where they're actually made, there's neps flying everywhere in the air. But what does it here is this beautiful, and no one will be exactly the same, because there's a certain kind of random and spontaneousness to where the actual neps adhere. But I just think it's such a nice, even though it's such a very traditional kind of technique as a nap yarn, and some of the most famous types of colors in our knitwear are nap yarn. But this is on such these modern colors like the cherry and the wonderful slate and the charcoal and the burgundy, particularly, it really shows them brightly. I just think it gives an extra little layer of texture to what already is such a chunky kind of three-dimensional knit.
Absolutely, like it's subtle, but then it's just so happy, because it reminds me of like we threw a little bit of confetti onto the traditional sweater that we know and love so much. It's really special, and we're looking at that burgundy.
That's a great way to describe it. A confetti on your sweater.
Yes, it is. So the burgundy is like the color of the year right now, all around the world. So the burgundy is really elegant as well. And then, like you said, we just saw the army green. Here we have the slate blue, which is a true like deep navy.
It's a very deep blue, yeah. It's almost like a kind of, it's probably one of the most denim friendly colors you're ever going to get as well. Like it's just, and each of the colors, like the neps are slightly different depending on the colorway. Like on this one, you've got those beautiful kind of rich kind of toasted brown, whereas on the army you might have a kind of slightly kind of brighter little pops of orange. And I think that particularly like on a darker color, particularly like it just to have this little kind of twist on it can really just bring it to life.
It sure does. And then here is the slate. This is the gray. Yep.
And so charcoal being such it's one of the classic Aran colors. So I think we couldn't do this process without creating a charcoal nap. And this is, I think, is probably one of the best colors if you want to do something like it's suitable for wearing into the office. It's something that can be dressed up or down. I know even though the winter was a little bit late coming, but there definitely is a nip in the air at the moment. So this open front style is so versatile. You can just throw it over your shoulders. And of course, it's great for layering. As you see your model right now, like it's wearing like a turtleneck underneath it. This is ideal for that. And because it's made from this wonderful, soft, luxurious merino wool, it's a natural fiber. It doesn't have that kind of almost kind of clammy feeling that a synthetic fiber can have sometimes. This is good to be breathable. And because of the way that the Aran stitches is done, it captures little pockets of air within the stitch in those three-dimensional cables and things. And what that does is it regulates your body temperature. And of course, people always say we have to stop using fast fashion. This is slow fashion. This is fashion that's going to be around for many, many years. It's made from a natural organic fiber, and I think it's something that's going to last you for a long time.
Merino wool is so well known all around the world, specifically for that it is soft and it's going to keep you warm but not overheat you in any way. Actually, like you said, regulate the temperature, but it feels so good on. But it's also tied to the traditional look and style of these cable knits, right? So are there, I know that there's always stories behind each and every one of the patterns.
So this style knit were developed in the west coast of Ireland and the Aran Islands, which are these three small islands off the coast of Galway in the middle of the Atlantic. Well, not the middle, but in the Atlantic. And the families of the fishermen, it was primarily a fishing community, and they would create these chunky cables to, like I said, to get more bang for your buck out of the wool that they were using. They were able to regulate their body temperature better by having these chunky cables. And after a while, they started making these little patterns, like the fisherman's cable that you see there going along the placket. This was to kind of to mimic the ropes that the fishermen would use to draw in their nets. And really, what that was to do was it was like a good luck charm for a bountiful catch. Then you see this diamond stitch going down here. Of course, diamonds have always been a symbol of wealth and prosperity, and of course, they're a girl's best friend, as everybody knows. And really, what this by combining all these things, certain families would do certain things, and the legend goes is that you could recognize somebody walking by the pattern on their sweater before you saw who they were.
That's so cool. I love that idea. And your grandma started all of this back in 1957. Grandma Molly, right?
She did indeed, yes. Yeah, she was a formidable woman. There's a photograph of her now. That photograph was actually taken when in New York in 1921, I believe it was. So like many of her generation, she and her sister actually moved to America to work and to send money back, because at the time Ireland was a very poor country at the time. But what her sister stayed on there for many years, Molly always wanted to come home and start her own business. But when she wanted to start the business, she wasn't able to get a loan from the local bank because she was a woman starting a business on their own. And it was actually her sister who sent money back from her working in America, and that led her to buy the very first machine that was used in knitting. And I suppose the business was then continued by my father, Paul, and his brother John, who was a guest on QVC for many, many years. And now we're in the third generation. It's myself and my brother Niall are continuing on. And I think while the styles may have changed, we're now using merino wool. I still think she'd be very proud to see how the business that she started has developed after over 60 years.
Of course, she should be very, very proud. And again, this one is a very special. We have many Aran Craft sweaters in the show tonight, but this is the special one because of that flecked nep that we have on each of them. So I want to give you a close-up of each and every one of the colors, because the size, the style, they're all the same. The open front with the nice size pocket that you can definitely fit your phone in here. All of like your essentials to walk around the house or even at work with. And then the special, I love how we did this cute little scallop trim, Barry.
So the scalloping was always a very that kind of little lacing at the end was kind of a little bit of a nod to my grandmother's sister, who was great. She made her own lace. She kind of and a lot of her own crocheting. So this was kind of to mimic that kind of. It was called pointelle style lace, and it just adds a little feminine touch. And I think we always try to follow. If you follow detail in the hem, we always like to follow it somewhere else, so you can see it on the cuffs as well. And it was just I think it just makes it a little bit special. And as you mentioned about the pockets, one thing we always do when we're sampling styles, if we see someone reaching for a pocket has to go onto the sweater, and it has to be a functional pocket. It has to be generous enough that you can put your phone into, you can put your keys into. Nobody wants a little small pocket that something's going to fall out of. It has to be functional, and we also try to integrate it as seamlessly as possible. Like we say, if your hands aren't there, you don't really want to see the pocket.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so the one that I'm wearing here is the cherry red. If you're in love with this, get it now, because it is the most limited but the most popular right now. So everyone's jumping on the cherry red, because I say, like, when I first saw this, Julia saw me before the show. We were getting ready and she was like, what color is that? So it's really, really special. So get onto if you want the cherry red. Now here is the gorgeous
so festive as well.
Army green. Yes, perfect for the holidays right now. Army green. This is the charcoal. Here is that denim. This is actually, like you said perfectly. This looks like a jean. The denim blue, which we're calling slate blue. We also have the burgundy as well. Extra, extra small through double XL. I'm wearing it in the extra small. I'm 5'6", if that helps. Customer top rated.
Tell me. On the burgundy. The neps show up so well on the burgundy.
Oh, yes. I mean, even in the photo, not even doing a close-up, you could absolutely see it. Free shipping and hands.
Oh,
Look
yeah,
at that.
Great.
Wonderful. Customer top rated. That means that our QVC family has bought it, got it home, loved it so much that went back to give it anywhere from 4.5 to 5-star review on QVC.com. This has a 4.8 rating, so it's one of the favorites. Get it home. It's comfortable. It's beautiful. And we're saving almost $20 on the sweater today. Barry, I will see you in just a little